sometimes we think that being a 5-star person is about having money. No, it's about a mentality.
When you don't have the things that you want, you get creative.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yep. And I take that same approach when I create videos for people.
Is it really not equipment? Focus on how you're making your people feel.
This is gonna work out.
It's gonna work out.
This is gonna work out because this is how it all works.
That's how it all works. It's how it all works. While we used to live in South Africa, one of those New Year's celebrations, we went out to eat with a bunch of friends, and we decided to go to this 5-star spot. I'm talking about real luxury. It was real dope. We enjoyed it. We all dressed up, had on our black suits with the formal attire. You know, it did the whole ball drop kind of scenario. It was a lot of fun. Food, however, came with, the plating, had this smear, all this stuff. It was just way too small. It was I'm talking about way too small. Like we were, everybody there was hungry, trying to figure out like, what can we nibble on? What can I eat? What can I grab? And this running joke began to run between us as friends. And it was simply, you can't take 2-star people to a 5-star restaurant. And we were joking, of course, about ourselves because we all went out to eat after that because we needed to get something to eat because we just wasn't about that plated life. And I always found it to be hilarious and funny. But after a number of years, after I got into content coaching, I started to realize like there is a correlation. And we kind of touched on this a couple of weeks ago with Taina when we talked about pricing. How do you price your product? How do you price your thing? And we talked about the psychology of pricing and several things like that. But it came back to me now as we're getting ready to have this conversation around luxury content. Sometimes we think that being a 5-star person is about having money. No, it's about a mentality. It's about an approach. And in today's episode, we want to talk about how you can take your content to another level. Allow your content to reach another bar, right? In terms of making it cinematic, making it have a luxury feel and look. There is a strategy, and we want to share with you some points that you can take away today. And it's going to really revolutionize the way you see content. You're going to see it all over. And I want to be clear, it is nothing to do with the amount of gear you have. Anyway, today is another episode of the How It All Works podcast. I get to serve as your host. My name is Kirk Nugent. And today I have as my guest co-host, my guy, Mauria Moore. What's going on with you?
What up, brother?
Boom. I'm excited to have you here, man.
Man, you know I'm always happy to be in here, brother.
Bruh, we have not chopped it up on the pod for...
It's been a while.
Yeah, like we started the pod together. For those that don't know, make sure you go back and catch those first 2 episodes of the podcast. I had him on. I had Isaiah Price on. We had a phenomenal time.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to have you back, man. Mauria is a video producer. Am I saying that right? He is a content creator as well. I would even say a brand ambassador. Okay. He does his tagline. One of his taglines, I would say probably his only tagline, is luxury content.
Absolutely.
And there's a look and a feel to the content that Mauria creates. And it always blows my mind when he begins to break down what are some of the steps that he took to be able to create that feel. Because while it also kind of denotes that there is a upper level, upper echelon, top shelf, kind of scenario to it. It also, in my mind, always equated to this is more expensive.
Yeah.
And I want to say this to somebody who's out there as a creator. One of the ways that you can actually charge more is when you recognize how you're making the end viewer or your client feel. Like 100%. If you don't walk away with anything else today, focus on how you're making your people feel.
Yep.
That is a major, major takeaway. All right, I want to stay with my notes. We got 3 points, but I want to share with you this big idea. you want to bridge. The big idea is to bridge the gap between high-end cinematic video production and practical brand strategy. A lot of creators and business owners assume luxury just means using high-end equipment, $50,000 cinema cameras, that kind of thing. But today we want to break down the truth. Luxury is psychology. Luxury is intentional pacing. And luxury is a specific approach to storytelling that anybody can learn, and it doesn't really depend on your budget. So just walk us through a project. Your video, you do this on a regular basis. Talk us through those three pieces. And so we want to start with, of course, the psychology behind luxury. Talk to us a little bit about what that looks like. How do you approach, what's the mindset that you try to get people into when you're doing your content?
Great question. So for me, I always want, and this is just me personally, I always want the client that I'm working with to feel like a celebrity.
Let's go.
I want them to feel like a celebrity.
Like
if
a rock
you make
star.
them feel like a celebrity, they'll keep coming back.
Boom.
It's a feeling.
Yeah.
So for me, that's typically how I start. I'm gonna boost you up at the very beginning,
Right.
Because I mean, truthfully, we're all God's, children.
I feel it. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell you all the good things about yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna hype you up because when this is before we begin shooting.
Yeah.
I want you to feel
That's
like
good.
somebody, before we even start.
That's good. And I think there's, for the person who is looking to apply some of this stuff to their own content, maybe you have somebody on team that does your video, maybe you don't, but there's something to be said for the mental space that you're in as you approach the video. I think sometimes we don't take that into consideration.
Yeah, that's true.
Like there's a confidence.
Yeah.
There's a swag.
Yeah.
So I did a photo shoot with a photographer before, and this guy had on his questionnaire, he had like what music
Yes, that's
I
important.
like. And when I walked into the photography studio, that kind of music was playing. And I just kind of felt a vibe almost immediately, like, oh, we about to do this.
It means something, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it means something.
Yeah, get yourself into the zone.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good cheat code for people to really sink their teeth into. I've heard it said, Eric Thomas, before he gets on stage, he does 50 push-ups. It's part of his pre-show routine.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why he has that breathy, almost like he was running kind of cadence when he gets on the microphone.
Yeah.
And it just brings out that dog.
Yeah.
And people are just like, oh my gosh, whenever I hear him. But he knows where he needs to be
where he needs
in
to
order
be.
to deliver.
Yep.
He knows he needs to have a level of confidence. I think that's really a critical point.
Yep.
Is how are you approaching the psychology of approaching the content is super critical.
Yeah.
In terms of being successful in making it feel like, boy, this was high end.
Yeah.
That's
I
absolutely
kind of
amazing.
have to be, in a sense, their hype man.
Come on.
Just like when it comes, I love sports, but if you listen to a lot of the athletes, man, they're in the locker room, got the headphones on, is banging, and they're hyping themselves up, for the game.
Man, it's the pep rally.
Yeah.
I love that.
Really?
I love that. I mean, and so somebody out there saying, is it really not equipment? Like, because I feel like you're like, can you shoot that with a phone? I mean, is it even possible to do? I just, what is? I know there's two sides to the psychology question. One is, of course, the mindset that the talent comes into to shoot with, but it's also this concept of, okay, there is a notion in our minds that says, well, I have to have more expensive equipment in order for me to deliver a high-end product.
Yeah. I kind of get that question all the time as far as, I need this equipment, I need that equipment.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. When I started, I didn't have the money for the expensive gear. I really didn't.
Come on.
My wife would tell you. I was literally using pizza boxes and creating teleprompters because I couldn't afford a teleprompter.
Oh, man.
So when people look at my work now, they're like, oh, wow, I love it.
But you came from...
I came from nothing, which allowed me to be able to tell a story differently because I didn't have
a pizza box. Help me.
Man, look.
What?
I'm cutting holes through the pizza box
and put the camera on it?
I'm using a piece of glass to,
What?
As a man, I'm telling you, it gets...
That's wild.
When you don't have the things that you want, you get creative.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yep. Yep. And I take that same approach when I
man.
create videos for people.
That's good. I love that. I love that. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, being able to get a little more creative, get a little more, as I say, apply some ninja tactics with it. That's pretty dope, man.
Yeah.
But I think that this is a critical point. When we ask the question, what actually makes a video feel like a luxury experience? What would you say, in your opinion, that thing is?
To make it feel like something luxury.
Yeah.
I would say the lighting.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
Lighting is the biggest thing to me. Like if I can, preach anything to you guys, it's lighting.
Lighting. Sheesh.
The lighting is so important.
Oh man. So if we were to break down a cinematic feel that what is lighting is one piece, but what else would you do to set up so somebody is kind of walking into frame and they're going to say something? How would you have them set that up to say it?
So for me, when it comes to lighting, lighting in itself kind of tells its own story.
Yeah.
And so depending on what the story is, maybe they're telling something about their past. And the mood is supposed to be a certain way.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have the light so bright like a television commercial.
Got you.
You don't do that.
No.
You kind of make it moody.
Yeah.
Give a little bit of shadow in it. You know what I mean?
But you don't need a lot of equipment to make this happen?
You don't need a lot of equipment.
Wow.
As long as you know what you're doing.
You definitely have to have control of the whole scenario.
You got to be able to control.
Yeah. Okay.
Control is everything.
Control is everything. I hope y'all are picking up some of the gems that are being put down here. One of the things that I had in my notes here to kind of talk about in terms of misconception of luxury is just that it's expensive props and it's expensive gear. You talked about lighting. One of the other things I had here was three other things was pacing. And that's why I talked about, how would you have them come into the shot if somebody's coming in to deliver something? What would be that pacing? How do you gauge that? Even like, okay, so let's break down a particular scenario. You do a lot of content on your phone that you put out on socials, on Instagram. How do you walk us through that whole process in terms of how you set up the shots in terms of the lighting? What do you do? Because you're editing long before you actually hit record.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you do knowing, okay, this piece is going to go here, this piece is going to go here? What are you trying to capture? Which parts are you going to slow down? Which parts are you going to leave it regular? Which parts are you going to just show a small clip of to kind of move that pace? How do you decide those pieces again to?
It's kind of interesting because, to be honest with you, I never really know the direction when I'm editing.
Got you.
I never know the direction. Once I put it into my editing software, I just begin piece by piece, taking
it piece by piece. Right.
But the thing is too, though, when I'm shooting, I try to give myself room.
A lot to work with.
Okay. You always want to overshoot.
Got you.
I always want to overshoot and get multiple angles.
So you have options.
So you have options. You never want to be in a position where it's like, I should have got it
from this side.
Yeah, or I should have did it at this angle. So you want to give yourself options. But overall, man, I can have an idea for the edit, but it changes. Things change.
So with options, okay, even for like the angles and different things that you want to have in there, are you then looking at possibly having 4 cameras? So like even right now, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cameras going. But I mean, that's just because of the way that I want to record this.
Yeah.
But in the scenario you're talking about, are you recording it multiple times over?
I'm recording it multiple times. And it's not because I want to.
It's
I'm the type of person, man, that I try to, and you can attest to this. I try to be as mobile as possible.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's certain things that I don't bring. There's certain things that I do bring.
Yeah.
So usually in most cases for me, I bring as little as possible, because that allows my creativity to have to take place.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's such a good balance for somebody who's out there saying, I need to have this truckload of equipment in order to make it happen. The less equipment you have, the more creative you have to be.
It's going to force you to become creative.
And that ends up, you see that, you feel that in the finished product. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. The other thing that I have here is negative space in the frame and of course the audio experience.
Yeah.
So, I always tell people you always got to record it right. You got to get the audio right. The audio's got to be right.
Yeah.
If the audio's not right, it dies.
Yeah.
But how do you approach the negative space in the shot?
First of all, let me say this.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, audio is probably the most important thing.
Yeah.
But what happens when you don't need the audio?
Because sometimes you might
in
not.
certain situations you just don't need audio.
Yeah.
So videos, it's a very intricate thing.
I never thought about that. Yeah, you might do a voiceover later.
You might do a voiceover, or
so you're just capturing it.
Yeah,
clips.
a lot of times I just put out videos with no sound.
That's true. I've seen those.
And I want people's mind to get going. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's just so many different ways that you can.
You
go
are
about
so
it.
right. Now I'm thinking about it. Like, okay, maybe, yeah. Audio is important.
Audio is important
if that's going to be part of your end product.
If that's going to be a part of the product.
But many times, luxury content doesn't necessarily have somebody.
It doesn't necessarily have to have someone speaking, and that's what makes it so luxury. You're still able to tell a story without audio. You know what I mean?
Dope. That's dope.
You're able to, for example, if I were to show your process of setting up, we don't need you to actually tell us what's going on.
No.
It's the brain is so amazing.
And we fill in those blanks.
It fills in the blanks for us.
Wow. No, you're giving us some cheat codes here as well, because I think as people will start to put it all together, they're starting to say, okay, so we need to play on the senses a lot more than just directly giving it to them.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really dope component of luxury content as well.
Absolutely.
Man, so here's point number 2. Okay, point number 1 was we're really just trying to focus on the psychology of premium, right? And it's not just about the gear. Point number 2 is, how can everyday brands borrow from the luxury playbook? I mean, because not everybody's able to do luxury, right? Or better yet, have all the pieces or components, or even have the knowledge that you have to be luxury. Like, what are some of the things, just normal everyday things that we can incorporate into our content, into our pay, into whatever it is that we're doing that will give it a luxury edge? Yeah,
I would say to give it that luxury edge, you have to be able to tell a story in a different way.
Yeah.
Most people are going to tell the story the same way, but if you can find a creative way to tell the story, to me, that elevates the video in and of itself.
It's the storytelling piece.
Yeah, the storytelling piece.
Wow.
It can be from the angle that you're shooting at.
Man.
It can be from audio-wise. It's so many different ways that you can shoot the same video.
Man, I love that, because you got my mind spinning on a number of different options and opportunities within content. One of the things that we try to talk about here, of course, on the How It All Works podcast, is just, getting that idea out there. Here's the other thing that we have said here multiple times, and you'll love this, is that the content that you need to capture and put out there for others to consume is on your calendar. Yeah, it's already stuff that you're going to be doing. If you're going to the store to do some shopping for a particular client, capture that content. Yeah. And so the storytelling aspect of it becomes that luxury component. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now I'm starting. The brain is starting to run, because it's like, it's not just that you're going to the store. Yeah, it's that you have the freedom in the middle of the day to go to the store and shop on behalf of a client. Absolutely. It's showing the logo of the car. Yeah. Right. You know all what I'm saying? Like the door closing, details. but not fast. Yeah. Like, you're not rushed. That's the other thing I always notice about luxury content is that these people don't seem like they're in a rush. Yeah. Like, they're just moving. They're just kind of coasting through life. Like, it's gonna come to me. Yeah. I'm not gonna chase it down. I'm not gonna fight for it. It's gonna chase me. I love that for luxury content. It just kind of gives this air of premium. Yeah. And I love that. So, but yeah, I could see that now going into the store, but then what store is it? Yeah. Like, dang, I can't shop. Like, and none of this, and more I'm thinking about it, none of this is, I'm verbally saying anything. It's just quiet. Yeah. Just boom. Maybe you might have the door closed in the car. Absolutely. Maybe you might record, like, you could just hear just the sound of the door closing. Man. You know what I mean? The engine starting up. The engine starting up. Sheesh. You know what I mean? You're literally telling a story. It's the storytelling aspect of it. And it's what you include and what you don't include. Yep.
Yep.
So I mean, because you could really have a very basic reel where you go to the
can.
store and you pick out some things for a client, and then you just like, boom, yeah, this is what I did.
Mm-hmm.
But adding those extra components,
Yep.
you know, even the fit, like how you got ready, like it's
All of that.
it's
matters.
all that's luxury.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It all matters, man.
That's crazy,
It
bro.
all matters, man.
That is crazy. Yeah, and it gives people, because that's the thing about that kind of content. It gives people a window into your world.
Yeah.
But you get to determine what they classify it as by the
Absolutely.
way you present it.
Yeah, you get to tell the story. The thing that I love about video is you get to tell them
Yeah.
what is.
What is? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's no
You
argument
get to
here.
tell them.
You're the creator.
You're the creator.
My goodness.
I love it, man. And a fun thing that I love to do.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I don't like to plan anything.
Yeah.
I just hit record.
Boom. And just
hit record.
see.
Some things make the edit, some things don't. But just record. Just record whatever it is.
Man.
It could be the sky.
Wow.
Tell the story.
Yeah, tell the story.
Tell the story and do it in a cinematic way.
Oh man. So okay, break down the term cinematic, because
Okay.
I think that is another part. People equate luxury with cinematic, but
Yeah.
again, both terms in a layman's mind
Yeah.
mean more money.
Yeah.
And so how do you achieve cinematic even with budget equipment?
So with cinematic, and I think you can kind of achieve that with
Yeah.
your phone as well too.
Okay.
It's I mean, of course, it won't be at the same quality as these high end cameras,
Yeah.
but I mean, you
but
can
if
come
you're-
pretty
but
close.
I mean, if you're posting on Instagram anyway,
If you're posting on Instagram anyway,
or you posting on YouTube, I mean, it doesn't matter.
you know what I mean?
Facebook, you know.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
as long as you can find a way to add shadows into it,
Ooh.
I think it gives a sense of depth.
shadows, really.
Yep, you get a sense of depth. Shadows add depth to the video.
Oh man.
You add shadow, and that comes down to the lighting.
Yeah, I
You know,
was gonna ready to say
it comes down to the lighting.
You went right back to the lighting. That's awesome.
I'm looking at you now, and I'm seeing how the light's hitting your face.
Right.
It looks good on you, brother. I'm gonna just say that.
I appreciate you, Doc. I appreciate
But you have a slight shadow here. And
Yeah.
it's lit here.
Ooh.
So you're in a sense creating a feel.
yeah.
You're creating a feel, and
Yeah,
you can do
it's
that
a
with
vibe.
with your phone.
You can. Oh man, that's so good. I love that, man. Looking at the shadows
So
to
you got
give you that cinematic
you got
feel.
shadows,
Right.
And then you have depth.
Depth. Okay.
That's a big thing. Like
That's-
a lot
yeah.
of people see these
Yeah.
videos. If you watch movies, there's always depth.
Depth.
And the depth is accompanied by shadows.
Oh
It's amazing, man.
man, now you're gonna make me rip apart the studio, man.
Look.
Because I definitely don't have any depth. Like the wall is right here.
Yeah, it made me, it made me
Yeah.
scratch a little bit, but I'm
Yeah.
just like, you know what? I've seen Kirk's work. This is
Yeah,
gonna work
it's
out.
gonna work out.
This is gonna work out. Because this is how it all
But
works.
it's how it all works. It's how it all works, man. Man, that's good though.
Yeah.
Because I'm also kind of reframing some of the content that I do outside of the studio.
Mhm.
On location while I'm doing different things.
Yeah.
Making sure that there's depth. Making sure that there's
Implement those
some
things,
shadows.
yeah, for sure.
This is nothing we have said right now is requiring any additional equipment.
Mhm.
What we're saying right now is utilizing what's there and just having a mindset.
Mhm.
This is what I meant by having a psychology around being able to deliver high-end content,
Absolutely.
but not necessarily having to have high-end price or
Yeah.
high-end cost to delivering that type of content.
Absolutely.
The third point we want to touch on, of course, and we're rounding home base here, is the client experience behind the camera. How the production process itself kind of dictates the final product.
Yeah.
Especially with luxury content, sometimes the way the subject is treated off camera kind of translates directly to their confidence on camera. This is kind of what we talked about at the beginning as well, but you would just kind of share with us a little bit more about that process in prepping that high-end look for a client, because that could be critical as well. More than just what we touched on earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more saying, is there a particular color palette? Is there a particular because we talked about mindset, right? So they came, you're already setting them up. You said you were the hype man.
Hype them up.
You kind of really build them up. You want to pour into them.
Absolutely.
But then what is there? How is what do you put together in order to kind of bring the whole package home?
Yeah. So as you mentioned, color matters.
Okay.
For me, when it comes to the type of videos that I shoot for my personal brand, I tend to go toward the moody look.
Yeah.
And so I'll usually wear something dark.
Yeah, so
you know what I mean?
I gravitate towards darker colors.
Yeah.
Because when I wear lighter colors, white, cream, man, it doesn't matter, especially because of my skin tone. It doesn't matter what I do with that balance, that ISO. It's just blaring at me. It's like the thing is glowing. Yeah. So I'm always mindful of that, and I do like the way that it comes out when I do it with the darker colors. That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. So what you wear matters. Things you have in the scene, all these.
Boom.
This is where you're gonna find your colors. You know what I mean?
That pop.
It's just a pop of color.
That's good.
You never want to put too much color behind you,
right?
Because we want the focus to be on the subject,
right? Right.
If you are gonna add a big thing of color, you
want
to at least wear it. Then you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You're the subject.
Yeah.
The subject
to wear
matters.
it. That's good.
The subject matters. But in most cases,
I like that. Subject matters.
Yeah, the subject matters, man. You again, you're telling the story.
Yeah.
I want you guys to look here as opposed to here.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what to do.
There's a level, I think, a recurring theme throughout everything you've shared.
Yeah.
Is this level of intentionality.
Yep.
Like luxury is intentional.
Yep.
Don't leave it up to chance. You're telling the story. You're including certain things. You're excluding certain things. You're allowing them to hear something. You're not allowing them to hear something. All of it is intentional.
All of it matters.
All of it matters.
If you watch a movie, you ever ask yourself, I wonder why they put that there? Or I wonder why they set him in this room.
Yeah.
I wonder why the shot is so wide and he's so small in the shot. Everything matters. So when you approach these videos from a cinematic perspective, you have to pay attention to the details.
Oh man, I'm feeling this. Like that right there, that will teach right there. Yeah. I like that, man. No. That's gold. The intentionality piece resonates so deeply with me because this is how I teach as well.
Absolutely.
Right? I'm constantly telling folks, man, don't leave anything up to chance. Be intentional, especially because everything we're talking about in terms of the look, feel, vibe of luxury content.
Yeah.
The other piece of it is that the story that you're telling and the point you're making is equally important, and you must be intentional about that as well.
Yeah.
So even if you're not actually physically saying anything, you still want to ensure that the message that you want to be relayed is received.
Absolutely.
And that level of intentionality goes a long way, no matter what aspect of the video production process you're in. That's good, man.
Yeah, man. It's so many. It's a lot of layers to it.
Yeah.
I don't think we have enough time to go through all the layers, but there's a lot of layers to it.
if somebody was to, all right, just as we get ready to wrap, I want to just kind of rapid fire have you give us some of your tips, tricks, best practices in terms of being a video producer. Somebody's out there just saying, just okay, let's start with audio.
Yeah.
What are your audio tips, tricks for content creators to be able to
perfect? I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Go for it.
We'll start with audio because, like you said, it is important,
It's
and I'm going to agree with you. It is the most important thing, right next to lighting.
Listen, it's audio, man.
Yeah,
it's
if
audio.
you can't hear nobody, the video could be dead.
Yeah,
so.
and I often say to folks, my audience will be familiar with this, but I want to just kind of get this into the podcast episode as well. But I often say to folks that you set up your studio the way that God set up the earth.
Oh my God.
Can
we just pause for a second? That is so good, bro.
but here's the clincher, and this is what always gets people because he started by saying, "Let there be light," and people are always like, "Well, but hold up, Kirk. He started with light. So if he started with light, then it shouldn't light be first." But I say, but he had to say it.
Oh my God.
He had to say it. He said it.
That is so accurate.
He said it.
This thing is biblical.
And light heard him and obeyed.
I'm gonna just whisper from here on out.
We just go whisper. But no, audio is first, man. It is critically important.
Yep,
it is
yep.
critically important.
So I would say for those who are listening, those who are watching, a key component, one thing I learned based off of experience is to have backup audio.
Ooh.
So that's key.
Yeah.
You never want to leave a spot, location, or whatever, and the audio is not good. So
I've learned the hard way.
Yeah, and you don't want to learn the hard way on a paid client shoot. You don't want to learn that
absolutely.
way. So when it comes to audio, make sure you have backup audio.
Backup audio. I love that. I love that. Give us one example of backup audio. I mean, like in this set right now, what would be one way to implement a backup audio?
Yeah, so this would primarily be our primary. And so another or secondary option would be to maybe boom a mic over the top.
Yeah, like I got the boom mic there. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Man,
just like
and
that.
It is recording, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it is. It is.
So you already on it.
Hey, man, you gotta have the boom. You know, so that's one.
Yep.
And then the other thing that I learned again the hard way. I have seen people do this. I'm not doing it currently, but they'll take the Rode wireless and they'll just kind of clip it to here.
Yeah.
And then
I've done it before.
And then you're recording on the mic, and on a camera where the receiver is, so that you can have both.
So there's a plethora of ways that you can.
I just wanted us to kind of name off a couple for people out there. Okay,
you can even have a lapel mic underneath, up under, to be able to catch that audio.
But one of the things, especially here, we want to move on to lighting, but in terms of audio, I think one of the other things I want to mention to folks is do a quick test record. To hear what it sounds like.
100%.
Put some headphones on, listen to it while live.
Yes.
If you're not a subject, or if you're not on camera talent, then you can listen to it, or just hit record, let people do a quick test, stop the record, and listen to it back. Yep. Listen, you don't want to get that audio wrong. That audio's got to be right.
Absolute 1000%.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Listen, the other thing, last thing I'll say is I like to have visual indicators.
Yeah.
So I like to be able to glance at the screen every now and again and see those that visual indicator, like, oh yeah, it's still going.
Absolutely.
And I see it on both sides, on the Rodecaster Pro, on the Rodecaster Video, even if they're on the screen.
Wow.
I get a lot of visual indicators. I need to see it. So
confirmation.
It's just confirmation. Yeah. All right. So okay, now we kind of have some tips, tricks for audio.
Yeah.
Let's talk about lighting. What are some tips, tricks for lighting, especially as it pertains to content creators who are wanting to kind of take it to another level, and give a luxury vibe.
Yeah, so lighting can be very tricky.
Yeah,
but I mean, lighting can make or break the video. Truthfully,
yeah.
Depending on how your setup is, and the feel that you're trying to give to the viewer, it's going to determine how you set up the lights.
Dang.
Yeah. So, for example, I love how you have this place lit up. It's beautiful. I hope I look good on camera. But the way that you have the lights coming down, there are no shadows behind us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because we have a wall behind us, you never want to have a light beaming directly straight towards you because it'll leave terrible looking shadows. Yeah. You know, so you come down at an angle with the light. Just so that
he's giving us.
You look at the
codes,
sun,
bro,
and that's how the sun hits us.
The sun hits you at an angle.
It hits you at an angle. You know what I mean? So you gotta incorporate all those.
I love
those
that.
Things. Yep.
And if you're looking to not have harsh shadows,
okay.
But how could you possibly?
And let me stop you real quick.
Yeah.
Harsh shadows are not bad. I don't want anyone to leave here thinking, "Oh, the shadows are harsh, so it's not going to work." No, there's a place.
There's a
place for that. There's a time for that.
Okay.
So I do want to throw that out there.
No. But that was actually my whole point. Is like, what about those times where the shadows actually work? Mm-hmm. How do you want to be able to control those as well?
You want to control it. Yeah,
that's good. So on the thing with lighting, just talk about give people a 3-point lighting breakdown.
Yeah.
Just in terms of what you hear these terms thrown out there, key light.
Yeah. So you want to have your key light, you want to have your fill light, and then you want to have possibly a backlight. Yeah. It's not a must, but people like us, we prefer it.
We prefer it.
And if you guys are looking at the scene now, I don't know if they can see everything.
I mean, there's even if you lean towards me real quick. there's a light right directly behind his head. Like there's a light shining on the curtain behind him.
Yeah.
So that these are all intentional. And
all
I think
intentional.
the other thing too that that I have seen people do in different ways is they use a color of some sort, some kind of RGB light, to add a different look, feel, give it a warm look, a very cool look, that kind of thing. Yeah. So lighting is critical. It's
critical, man.
Yeah, bro.
It literally tells the viewer how to feel.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. You know, I always like to say this to folks, man. Great lighting makes all cameras better. Mm-hmm. That's why.
Say that again.
Yeah. Great lighting makes all cameras. You know, so one of the jokes that I always like to say to folks is like, do you know if you're at a wedding and you're out there taking pictures with your cell phone of the bride and groom, and you're saying to yourself, yo, the pictures that I'm getting off of my cell phone are almost equal to what the photographer's getting, but the photographer lit the shot. See, and so because the photographer lit the shot, it doesn't really matter what camera you take the picture with. Yeah. It's because he already set them up. He arranged them. Yeah. He or she arranged them. They got the line, the height order. Everybody's kind of symmetrical. Yeah. And once they have everything set, the photographer steps back behind the lens to grab the shot. You're grabbing the shot too, but he's done all the work. Yeah. And I think that's something that we don't always take into account. Yeah. Man, great lighting makes all cameras better. Yes. You have phenomenal lighting, man, you will be shocked and amazed at how even a laptop webcam will come through like looking gorgeous.
Kirk, I get questions all the time, man. What camera do I need? What camera do I need? What lens do I need to use? Yeah. What camera are you using? What camera are you using? Don't start with the camera.
Don't start with the camera.
You need to invest in the lighting.
Ooh.
You need to
help them. Help them.
It's
help
the lighting
them.
Is what
the lighting.
Makes
the lighting's
makes
gonna make
the camera
it
better.
That's gold. Yeah, that's gold. So you have your audio. You have your backup. You're making sure you're intentional. You've done a test record. You've set your lighting. You've determined, right? You're intentional about whether you want shadows, RGB, whatever, right? Direct light, however, moody lighting. You've kind of set up everything the way you want it. Now, what's the next step? Because now, I like to say, audio, lighting, then you set up the shot. I say set up the shot. Yeah. I don't necessarily say video. Video is how you capture it. Your camera and lens is how you capture it. But all of that is part of setting up your shot. Yeah. Like what lens you select is part of setting up your shot. Yeah. Sure. And then of course, if you want something to have a blurry background, blah, 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 it's all still part of setting up your shot. Yeah. So those are the three, but now talk to us. What are some tips, tricks in terms of setting up that shot? Yeah, from a video perspective specifically. Yeah, man. It just it goes back to what story are you trying to tell? And a lot of if you go back and look at some of my videos, take with Pastor Snell for example, I usually shoot him at an angle upward. And the reason why I do that is because I want the viewer to see him as a big, strong man. Oh wow! It's a mental thing. It's a mental thing. Instead of shooting him at a low angle or straight on, it makes him feel small and as if wow, he doesn't matter. But usually, whenever I work with my clients, even if it's just slightly at an angle, I always want the viewer to view him as powerful. So. Yeah, it's a lot that goes into levels. There's levels to it. Wow, that's something so simple that any one of us could do. So I dare you, as you're watching today, man, I dare you to, I challenge you to try some of the things that we're talking about. Yeah. Incorporate some of these pieces to arrive at content that would be considered top shelf, would be considered high end, would be considered cinematic, AKA luxury, and just see what effect that has on your audience. There's something that I was talking about in one of my reels this past week. I was this called the velvet rope theory, and it's this concept of making sure that people don't just have general access to you. Right. They should feel like having access to your time is a privilege. Yeah. And one of the ways that you do that is by setting up certain boundaries. Now, people hear that and then they immediately go to the nth degree. Yeah. I'm not saying that you should have, strong arm. I'm not saying you should stonewall or gatekeep. I'm saying people shouldn't just be able to just walk up and have a conversation. I was saying to a good friend of mine, because he's like, man, you must be really busy. I'm like, I'm allergic to being busy. I don't like being busy. I like to have my time, set up. I like to put things on a schedule. I schedule my breaks in as well. One of the things that I don't do is I don't necessarily answer the phone.
Yeah.
If I'm not expecting the call, especially if I don't know the number, I don't answer, because it's going to break my attention from what it was I was working on.
Yeah.
And because that is important to me. And here's the clincher. It could be something I'm working on with you. And so you know that when you have my attention, you have all of it. And when you don't, you don't. And the reason why I'm saying this is because people look at luxury, high-end content as something to be attained, but it's actually a mindset that you must ascend to first.
Yeah.
You must see yourself as luxury.
Yeah.
You must see yourself as high end before anybody else does.
Yeah.
And that comes across in the way you manage your time. It comes across in how you respect yourself.
That's so good.
Comes across in who you give access to, what you give energy to in your everyday life, and the way you carry yourself. That's far bigger than content. I mean, quite literally, these are one of those things I like to say, this is how it all works.
Yeah.
Because these are how the puzzle pieces fit together. When you're seeing that person out there, you see that luxury style content, you're like, man, to be like them.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're just kind of giving you a window into maybe not so much who they are, but what they aspire to be.
Wow. Yep.
And sometimes I feel like we need to see that of ourselves. I know this to be true of you because I am one of your clients, that every now and again I will look at a piece of work that you have done of me, and I will look at the video like, dang, I want to be like him, even though it's me. Even though it's me. And I think that is a component, that's a missing piece to somebody's success matrix out there.
Yeah.
As you are traversing these content streets, sometimes you need to see yourself through somebody else's lens.
Yeah. That's
and
true.
give yourself that. Like that was one of the best pieces of advice my coach gave me. He was like, Kirk, you're going to these speaking engagements, you're doing these workshops.
Yeah.
You need to hire somebody who's going to do the video work, because I'm so used to doing it myself. And even though it's not my number one thing, I can do it.
You can, yeah.
But man, having you come through several of those times to do some of that work, it blew my mind. I mean, me and my family sit back and watching the recap like, wow, we did that. Like,
but you know what's crazy though?
Talk to me.
At the beginning, we talked about I have to hype the person up.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to tell y'all now, I don't have to hype this guy up. He is an energy ball.
Listen,
like,
man.
this guy hypes me up to get the content. You know what I mean? So I just want to throw that out there.
No, but I appreciate that. And I think there's something to be said for just the whole... we started the podcast series with this phrase, and actually this was one of the episodes you were on. Content is life, and life is content. And even just today, in today's episode, I talked about the fact that some of your best content is sitting on your calendar. It's the things that you're already planning to do.
Yep.
You just haven't necessarily planned to capture it.
Yeah.
One of the things that I also want to extrapolate out from that larger phrase, content is life, life is content. If you want the number one thing, I hope you've put those puzzle pieces together, but the number one thing that Mauria is sharing with us today about having luxury content and producing luxury content is that you actually have to be luxury.
Yeah.
Like, real talk.
It's a lifestyle.
Are you luxury?
Yeah. That's a real question.
No,
you got to ask yourself that.
I mean, yeah, we can do the lighting, we can do the pacing, we can do all the things. Yeah. But are you luxury?
Yeah.
I mean,
do you view yourself as
valuable?
Do you
view yourself as valuable? Like, man, are you respecting your time, your content, your genius?
Yeah.
To put the effort in to present it in a way that people will receive it as high end. Because I mean, that's the other thing too. The packaging is so critical. Sometimes the way, the level and the depth of the content that you're sharing doesn't match how you're packaging it. So your content actually deserves a more high-end luxury packaging in order for it to be received in the way that it's been given.
Yeah.
And I think that's a powerful thing for us to kind of leave folks with. Hey, man, tell people where they can find you, follow you, what you got coming up next, anything that you want to share, man, anything, bro.
Man, I'm usually hiding in the house. If you catch me outside, I'm usually working. I'm usually recording, shooting some, but, I'm
Behind
a family
the lens,
man.
I love that.
I love to shoot.
But you know, one of the things I like about you though is that you're not just, yes, you're behind the lens. Yes, you're all. I mean, that's your vocation. That's your skill set. That's your superpower. Yeah. But you often come from behind the lens and get in front of it
every now and again.
And so
I'll put my Kirk on.
Listen, man, I would tell y'all right now, you need to be following this brother on Instagram. Yeah. Always posting some really dope content.
Yeah.
Luxury content.
Luxury content.
I hope to be in one of them reels pretty soon.
Oh, you will.
But listen, I can't thank you enough for coming through and hanging out with us today, man. This was a dope episode, and I hope that it resonates with the audience. Family, as we always like to say here, man, just as a by way of kind of challenging you and really helping the content, the breadth of what we shared today to really land. There is some mental work. You know, we talked about this in the pricing episode. We talked about this when it comes on to AI last episode. There's some mental work that one must do in order to really be at the space that you want to be in terms of being luxury, whether it's not luxury, high end, high impact, high value. There's some work that needs to happen inside of you in order to make that happen. This is why I say that content is life and life is content. Because one of the mistakes that you can make as you're doing that work is that you don't turn the camera on until that work is done. And I think that would be a mistake. I think allowing people, doesn't matter what your content area is, allowing people to walk with you through those processes as you learn your particular flavor, brand, what you bring to the table that nobody else can, that is wildly beneficial to anybody that's going to be watching. And that can absolutely be a difference maker in terms of your content. But this has been another episode of the How It All Works podcast. Boom. My guy, Mauria Moore, with us today as a guest co-host. I'm here, of course, Kirk Nugent. And of course, we can't wait to have Taina Nixon back. But we want you to comment below. Let us know which part, what resonated with you the most. And we hope to see you back here next week for another episode. Grace and peace.